All right, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. Let me quickly just tune into the chat and see exactly what's going on. Give me a second. Where are we? Have we got anything? Nope. What's going on here? Wow. Let's go to my channel and see what's going on. Oh, yes, right. We've got something going on right now. Right, I see KR here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I see Phillips Reese here. Awesome, Reese Phillips. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Nice to see you all here. So we're gonna do a little short one here. Well, my short ones are usually long ones, but we'll talk about all sorts of stuff. I believe KR has brought up a subject privately on what's it called? On WhatsApp regarding Elon Musk and his kind of current shenanigans that he's got regarding Twitter. We will talk about that. Absolutely, why not? We're also going to look at the market. You probably looked at the thumbnail. You've probably seen this very same image. Actually, it was slightly different. When I took the picture, it was on a 2 weekly. This is on a monthly, but I will show you and explain to you what happens. I also kind of hinted about this particular chart, I think about a week ago or a few days ago, and I said I'll talk about it. So there's a few bits and bobs we'll look at, and of course we're going to talk a little bit about paradexes as well. Why not, right? Well, in the moment we might as well. So I hope everybody's good. I hope everyone's had a great weekend. I hope you have started your week great as well. And let's see where we go from here. Right, I'm hoping a few more people pop into the live stream and then we carry on. But other than that, let's just move into the stuff anyway. So I want to talk about what KR said regarding the Twitter situation. So it's a good question KR asked me. He said, could there be like some sort of an agenda or something here? To be honest, Elon doesn't do anything without a good reason. And if Elon buys Twitter, it could be political, it could be institutional, it could be anything, right? One of the things we do know that the $46 billion that he's just borrowed, he didn't just have that lying around. He borrowed this. This came from somewhere. So that's the funds he is using. So obviously everybody who's investing has a vested interest. So when they're talking about verifying everybody, getting rid of the bots, which is a great thing, by the way, verifying everyone on Twitter, I think it's fantastic. So we know who's who. You can prove that you're a human. I think that's a great way to go forward. But that also means monetization. Means, yeah, we might see a massive drop in actual Twitter accounts that are fake accounts or whatnot, or anonymous accounts, for example, and we might end up with a lot of public accounts that everyone can see. Is it great? Yes and no. I mean, in the sense of security, of course they're going to be providing XYZ, but at the same time, it's like you won't have scammers there, and I think that's a great thing. But we know recently, just before Elon Musk announced all of this, they were connecting the NFTs to the Twitter and whatnot, and this and that. That means your wallets are connected. So now a lot of the big wallets out there, especially all your Bored Ape clubs and all your, what's the other one? Mutant Ape clubs and this and that, right? BAYC and MAYC. Everyone's who's put their Twitter profile picture via the NFT. Well, everyone's gonna know who you are now. That's because it's going to be human identifier. So that's a bit of a problem. And even if they don't let everybody know who you are, internally they know who you are. So it's a way of tracking. So I'll be very cautious what I put on Twitter. I mean, I have no issues putting my personal details there. Absolutely no issues at all. But when it comes to my crypto activities, I think I'll be a little bit more cautious. Of course, if it's a company status, like for example, if we're doing something regarding paradexes and we're doing tweets regarding paradexes, it's a company, it's his own entity. So that doesn't really kind of, connect me. Well, it does connect me, but the point is it doesn't affect me as much because that's paradexes, this is me. So I'm not going to give away my personal stuff. But when we're talking about a company or something like this, it's a whole different ballgame. So I hope this kind of helps you understand that yes, there could be ulterior motives, different agenda, and agendas could be great. But I think ultimately it is money related. You don't just pay somebody something, or you don't just raise funds and get nothing out of it. You would obviously get something from it, bro. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's go. Okay, can you hear me? KR, can you hear me? That's the question, bro. I hope you can hear me. Um, So this is the kind of situation we've got anyway. I hope this kind of makes sense. That yes, it's a great thing. I would love to see Twitter be, regulated. Let's call it regulated. I think that's the word. Definitely would like to see it regulated. Scammers out, anonymous accounts, or anonymous accounts should be there, but bots out, whatnot. Love that idea. But how much do we have to give to get that? You know what I mean? And I think we're going to be giving a lot. And so that's why I said I'm going to be very cautious on certain things. I'm not going to connect my blockchain. I'm not going to connect my wallets. Definitely not doing it. And I think anybody who's wise right now will actually start working towards that and say, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to disconnect myself before Elon takes over and probably change my wallets or whatnot. And this and that. There's services out there anyway. I'm not going to talk too much about that. So let's hope that works out for them. So that's that. What else are we talking about? Well, we're talking about this chart right now. So let's move into the chart and see where things going. Also, guys, if you have any questions you want me to answer, as long as it's not personal, fire away. I'll happily answer that question for you. And as long as I can answer, if it's in my capability of answering, I will definitely answer that question. So ask me anything, I'll try and answer that. And let's move on. And if you're new to the channel, smash that like button, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. And by God, this channel is growing. Wow, it's just awesome. I was watching this one video. The video gets like 1,000 views or something. I think it's at 20 or 30,000 views. Have no idea how, why, but it's happening. Anyway, let's move over to the chart and have a look at the chart itself and talk about it over there. Right, let's move on to this. Give me a sec. I'm just trying to get the screen on that. Right, so let's go to the live so you can see the cursor. And we're looking at this monthly chart. Now, I've seen something quite awesome on this chart. So that's where I became really fascinated. And I actually saw this on the monthly. Give me a second. Let me get rid of this. Let me bring it here. And let me get rid of the drawing. Because drawings are not important. Of course, I mean, if we want to boast about drawings, then we can boast about it. Because this drawing we did month ago. When we last worked on this particular chart. And we drew this channel. And everybody probably thought, what kind of an idiot draws a channel like this? Well, I did. And guess what? On my channel, you can see that we've literally tapped this, and I'll show you. I'll zoom into this to show you. So what you'll notice is how this red has literally come and tapped these zones. So we knew about these zones that we would possibly have. Of course, we're looking at a bigger picture and see where we go. I see Mr. C here. Awesome, Mr. C. I hope earlier on when you asked me that question, it was helpful and you managed to resolve your issue. I hope everything went well for you and you didn't end up paying too much fees. As long as it works for you, it's great. So that's what we had, but let's not boast about any of this stuff. Let's go into the real facts. So we're looking at this area here, and we're looking at it on the logarithmic chart. So this is the Bitcoin log chart, log growth curve chart. We've got it on the log, all right? We can have it on the auto or whatever, it doesn't matter. But ultimately, what we're looking at is this entire history of BTC, all right? So we only have one rule here, is we're going to look at the entire history of BTC over monthly candles. Now we can use 2 monthly, 3 monthly candles. It doesn't matter because the data that we're looking for is these large data, and we can use, monthly, weekly, whatever. So for example, if we wanted to go to 2 months or 3 months, just to make the chart smaller, we can do that. It's absolutely fine because we're looking for this zone here, right? So let's go back to monthly so we can get more data on here. Now, what we want to see is basically these peaks that we've had. So every time we've had these, impulse wave moving us up, right? It's been pushing us up to the top level. We always come back to test this green line or this green zone. But one thing that a lot of people don't notice is so this white line here and this green line here, right? So let me do a few bits and bobs here to kind of sort things out. Give me a second. Let me do something here. So I'm about to just kind of modify a few bits here. Give me a second, guys. What the hell is this doing? Give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec. Let's just modify some of this stuff here. Why isn't it opening? Oh, my days. Interesting. Okay, so my chart doesn't want to update. Give me a sec. Let me see if I can refresh this. Refresh. Sorry, guys. It's been a while since I last refreshed it. Actually, I don't have to. So the last refresh, I didn't refresh it. That's my fault. But I did actually write on it. So that's great. So we've got the data that I wanted to show you anyway. So what I did is I did some drawings, and this is the chart I actually sent you guys the other day as well. And let me bring, yep, so we got it on the monthly. So we're zooming into this area. I just want to show you something, right? So we've come to these zones here. These are the zones. I've got these on a Fibonacci zone. I just wanted to make some sense here. And just wanted to show you what happens when we come into this zone. So we are going to test these green line. Now, the white line, I would say, is the expected bottom, but it's not the absolute bottom. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bottom. So we don't have to touch this white zone here. This white zone is basically how low this went. So the line was drawn here. That's all it is. Remember, this line is variable. This line is not. So this is a Fibonacci level, right? And what I want to show you is basically what Fibonacci level it is. So if you look carefully at those two green lines, you can see it's a Fibonacci 23.6 whatever percent. Right, and I've got another one here at the 10%, but forget the 10%. Let's look at this 25%. So what we see is whenever we fall into this 25% area, right, or whenever we go above this 75% area, we know the market's going to end. 75% market's going to end, right? It's if we cannot go any further, that's when the momentum dies off. When we fall below a 25%, then we do come and test the 10%. And we can see this happen over and over again. Right, over and over again, it's happened where we've come in, we fell below, we've come and tested this area. Of course, remember what I said about the white line, that's 0.0. 0 means that that's how low we can go, or that's how low we have been. So remember, this is all previous data. There is no absolute new data here. We're just looking at the old data. So one of the patterns that I noticed was every time, year after year, every bull run, whenever we do this, we actually do come back to test these zones. And I've mentioned this on quite a few times, actually. I said, guys, this area is a perfect buy zone because this is an opportunity that you will never get again. Okay. And of course, the market's moving up as well. So we can see the market is also trending up. But right now, we've gone below the 25%. We've been below that 25%. All right, for some time actually. So you can see technically we've been battling it for the last 2 months. And then this particular month, we opened up. And we're actually below this green line, right? So you can see clearly here, when I zoom in, you can see we are actually below this green line, which means that we are coming to test this area, right? We are coming to test it. We might even have a wick that takes us below this area. And I've mentioned this many, many times before as well on this channel. I mean, you can go back and see any of my technical videos where I've clearly mentioned this. I said, guys, I still have buy orders for 20K. And you might wonder, well, why does this idiot have a buy order for 20K? Well, look, if we do wick down like some of these areas, I don't see a reason why we can't come and test this 2022 area. I don't see a reason. So because of that, just one simple fundamental reason, I said, well, I don't see a reason why this couldn't happen. So I'm going to definitely keep something there around that 20, the 20K level, this around this 20K level here, around basically this candle here. And what this is basically, again, another great fundamental thing to just look at. There's actually a massive reason behind this, right? Where's my drawing panel gone? Guys, I haven't used this for some time, so I'm just struggling. Right. And I hope you guys are following me, right? So if you look at this specific area here, this zone here, let me... just bear with me, guys. I'm going to make it yellow. I'm going to make it large, very large. Yeah. So what you can see here, this is the peak. This is where we battled it and we basically broke through. This is where we are right now. And that is around the 19.5, 20K level. And that's where I'm expecting worst case scenario for us to have a wick down. Okay, a wick down. All I'm thinking is we come down here and we go bloop, and then we come back up here. And that's it. Bob your uncle, we're moving up, right? That's what's going to happen. That's what I feel is going to happen. So I'm going to be cautious. Obviously, I'm not giving you any financial advice. This channel does not do any financial advice. You need to hire your own financial advisor for whatever you want. But ultimately, that's what I'm seeing. Anything I see here is just my own opinion. I think there's a great opportunity coming in. This particular green zone here, where we are right now, I'm going to definitely declare this as a great opportunity. Now, opportunity to do what is up to you. But that opportunity is there. It's staring at us, it's looking at our faces. Have I exited any positions or any holding that I have? No, I haven't. I haven't done any of that. But I have been prepared and I have been ready. I've mentioned this many, many times. My 25, my 20, all of those areas are still there. And I'm prepared to pick up the wick. Let's put it that way, right? Because once this happens, then what we have is we are going to see a pattern that is literally let's get rid of this for a second. We're going to see a pattern that is literally going to wick down here and then start moving back up again. Right. When this happens, of course, you're going to start seeing your confirmation zone. So for example, when we cross this level, you're going to have confirmation. Everyone's going to be shouting and screaming, guys, look, we're back in the run. When we end up moving back over this 50K, everyone's going to start shouting, guys, look, we're confirmed 100% in a bull market. Right? So 69K, whatever. But the point is, once we start moving up, we are going to get these confirmations. Right? And remember, when we do get this confirmation, it will be too late for you because obviously you're buying after the news, after the pump, because the pumps actually happen around these areas. So when we look at this and when we're saying, okay, we could possibly come down to 20K and we might possibly wick, right? So just around here somewhere. When we come here to confirm, we've already done what? 80, 90%? What is it? 80%. We've already done an 80% pump. That's the reality, by the way. Now, this does not have to play. This scenario absolutely does not have to play at all. It might never happen. And it's absolutely fine if it doesn't happen. But one thing we do know that looks more likely to happen is this. Give me a second. Let me get rid of this. More likely to happen is something similar like this, where if it doesn't come here, if it doesn't wick, absolutely fine. It finds the area here and starts bouncing back up and starts climbing up here. And while it does that, it also does one other thing as well. It stays along this green line here. So let's make this green just for the sake of this video. So what happens is it stays around here, just like how it did here. Just like how it did in every other time, right? Where people were like, oh, is it going to go down again? Or is this thing going to move? And all it's been doing is moving upwards, creating these higher lows on a monthly time frame. As you can see, these are monthly candles. So that's what you need to look at. Of course, is this bullish? It's very, very bullish in my opinion. I know a lot of people might say this is bearish or something like this, or freak out or something like this. I wouldn't. This is not the time to freak out. This is the time to be actually excited, because you're never, once we close this gap in a few years time, right? And I'm talking time frame, because remember, we're doing monthly candles here. When we're looking at this, we're talking months, months and months, maybe even years, for these moves to come back and probably test the new all-time high. And when it does, you'll then say, well, hold on, maybe the guy was right, because this is the area to pick it up. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's obviously up to you how you react to this, but this is what I've seen so far. Excuse me 1 second. Let me just go back, bring my drawings back. Right, so this is what I've seen so far. I'm going to move you over to another chart. Give me a second, not this one. This one. Sorry, not this one, this one. Right, move you over to this one. This is the one we used on the last video. And so far, all I can say is on the daily, if you look at the daily, I'll get rid of the drawings, guys. Our golden cross is not happening. It's actually quite bearish. It doesn't look right to me. I think we are going to have another dip down. Also, if you look carefully on the daily, what you'll notice is we had a wick down, which was the first time we wicked below our previous low. So the higher lows that we were doing is not valid anymore. Now we've come into the zone. We've actually fallen slightly below. So you can see these areas here, we've started to create these lows. So we're in a zone right now. And in fact, the zone we're talking about is actually this very zone here. You can see this here. So we need to maintain this level here. If we can maintain this and start moving back up again, of course, we're great. If we can't, then you can see where we think the probabilities are for us to come down. And of course, these are not done on a daily. These were done on a weekly. So when we're looking at this, the higher probability is that if we did come down, then we could easily come back down to this $36,000 level, test this area, because it is very bad. Maybe if we're lucky, we might see a little bit of a support around here and we can continue. So if I put this line here, you can see this line here, this support here, we might pick up the support here. But I think if we got a downward trend line, then we are most likely to actually come down, because if we're going to invalidate all of these candles, then there's no reason for us not to go down and actually create a better area and start moving back up again. But this is a strong area, strong support zone. So let's see what happens, let's see what happens. Because look, when we started moving up, I talked about this, how there are certain areas where we create a much more strength and we move up. Question is, I know a lot of you guys maybe, oh, is he bullish or is he bearish or whatever like this, right? I'm still bullish, as I said to you. I'm very bullish. I'm bullish here. I'm bullish here, solely because of what I see, right? Yes, the averages are changing. So what, right? Because one thing we cannot deny is this area here. We cannot deny what the chart is telling us right now, right here, where we are. We cannot deny that. We're too close to this area not to test it. And what it means not to test means, if we're so close to get that perfect buy zone, why would we push it back up instead of buying the perfect buy zone? So if I was a whale or a bunch of whales, I have the capacity to manipulate the market. Right now, I will personally, right? I would, if I was in their shoes or whoever they are, I would personally dump this entire market, sell right now here, and have a buy order just below this green line, or maybe even on the white line. Now, why would I do that? Well, if I sell today at 40K and I pick it up here for 20K, I just double my money. Think about it. It's a perfect, it's harder to try and attempt it from here because the risk is a lot more. Here, perfect. Because we all expect it. It's okay, dump it. We pick it up here. And then we move on. The move starts, the rally starts. Are people prepared? I don't know. But that's what I would do. That's what I would do. So yeah, it'll be very, very interesting to see how this plays out. But this is the trend. This is what I'm looking at. At the bottom of the range, I can see a 35. So we still got the 35. Of course, the average is still moving up as well. But as I said, on the daily, guys, it doesn't look really, really cool. When I start looking at this particular scenario here, the 50-day and the 200-day, it doesn't look great. Also, somebody else actually pointed this out. They said if you look at the 3 days, they said on the 3 days, there's actually a death cross happening on the 19th of May. So there's actually a death cross coming in on the 3 days. Of course, when we can manipulate the days, we can turn around and say, okay, 3 days, 2 days, whatever. Is it accurate? We don't know, right? Because it looks like a flat line. If you look at the even numbers, it's a flat line. Even on the daily, it looks like a flat line. Yes, it is bearish, slightly bearish, but it's not 100% bearish for us to take that into account and say, oh, look, what's going to happen? Because the data is kind of all over the place right now. When we look at, for example, when you're looking at this, we can see there's going to be a bull cross here, right? Sorry, a golden cross here. So, just take it with a pinch of salt when you see like the 1 day, the 3 day, the 5 day, whatever somebody's trying to present to you. Because a lot of the guys are just trying to connect dots because they're worried. They don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on because of the patterns that we have. I don't know what's going on, but I do know this much. For example, if I delete, just for the sake of this, hold on, where is it? Yeah, so if I just delete this for a second and if I just show you what I see this. So all I'm seeing is, yes, we've come to a zone, but we're coming greater where we might come to test this area, which is perfect if we did, and then we can start shooting back up again. But you've got to have the patience in order for you to do this. And I hope some of you guys have this. Any questions? Any questions? I see a few guys there. Smash those like buttons, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll talk about it. Not an issue. Also, coin market cap. I haven't been on there for a very, very long time. I mean, look, the last time we went on it was when it was about 18,957 coins. Let's refresh. Boom. We have 19,107. So yeah, it's constantly growing. I mean, this market is constantly evolving. New coins, new NFTs. I mean, hundreds of NFTs. Wow, hundreds and hundreds of NFTs are launching per day. So yeah, it's getting quite freaky out here. Trust me, it's getting quite freaky out here. It's getting harder to track the market, but just keep an eye on the volume. We've got 19,000 coins, and the global volume right now for all 19,000 coins is only $98 million. That's not really that, sorry, 98 billion, my bad, 98 billion. It's not much when you're looking at a market of 1.8, right? So 1.8 trillion, and we've got 90. That's nothing. It's just a very small number. So we need to see at least 180 180, 190 billion dollars traded per day for it to be at least equivalent to 10% of the total market. That will give us a good sign of things to move forward. But yeah, other than that, I don't really see anything else happening here. I'd say a little bit of a pump today. We did go down. I think we went down to about 38,200. So we had a little bit of a dip. And then we recovered quickly. So yeah, I mean, it's all good. It's all good. It doesn't make any difference. It's just a very basic number for us. Ethereum's holding up tight, looking very good. I see a lot of USD coins on the top cap with their market caps because a lot of people are sitting on USDT or any USD pairs right now. That's why. Good to see Solana at number 6. I haven't really seen anything. I think Solana suffered quite a bit from its all-time high, and if you look carefully, it's down humongously, right? It's been affected quite a bit. So let's see what it does. Let's see how it performs. Luna's looking good. But again, I'm not here to shill anything. You do you, I do me. But Luna's looking very good, holding the market cap. And also, while this market's been dumping or messing around, doing whatever, a lot more Luna has been appreciating in value. And of course, we can see the reflection of that when we see Terra USD also moving up. So we see Luna moving up and Terra USD coming in, because remember, to make the Terra USD you have to destroy your Luna in order to interact with this. So that's what's happening right now. AVAX holding hasn't done anything. I would love to see AVAX around the $100 level, which is not too much to ask considering it only went to 146. Maybe we have to do something to help this or something, but that should be really interesting. But I'm seeing, I'm seeing the big boys still holding onto some of their positions, and I think that's a good thing. I know a lot of people might say, well, what's going on here? But it's absolutely, I'd say it's it being a very good thing. If you take away Tether, BNB, or sorry, not BNB, BUSD, or this USDC and this and that, or take all of these coins away, then what you notice is the big boys are still holding their positions. You've got the king of crypto, BTC. You've got the king of altcoins, Ethereum, right? And then you've got the others, right? The other altcoins. You've got BNB there, Solana there, Terra Luna there, Cardano there. I mean, let's give it. Doge is there as well, right? And I mean, Doge the other day they sent something over a wave, and I think I did say to KR as well. I said, I'll tell you forms of communication. So communication is very simple. You have a sender and a receiver. That's all I was going to say. So if you can isolate the signals, then one person could ideally send it to another person. It's a simple signal. Or the technology, your computer, everything is a signal. That's all it is, ones and zeros. Also, it works on the same principles on radio waves as well. And if you go back to the evolution of the current technology you're using, your mobile phone, your signals, and this and that, it all started from a simple telegram. So the telegram was the same thing, right? Your Morse code and this and that. So these are signals, and those signals were then computerized, and the more time we spent, the more faster they got, and that's how we ended up today, where now we're able to view content. In fact, I'm doing live, and you're able to view me live, but the algorithm doesn't know if I'm there. The algorithm has no way of knowing if I'm a human or anything like this, has no way of identifying me. It's just using an algorithm, a sender and a receiver, ones and zeros. And that's what Dogecoin used, but nothing new, nothing new. In fact, in 2021, so I think I mentioned to you Blockstream, in 2017, they launched a satellite with BTC. Prior to that, I think it was in 2013. Yeah, 2013, 13 or 14, other people have tried it with like radios and this and that for Bitcoin as well. Of course, Blockstream released the satellite, which you can go and do free transactions on in 2017. And there's a company called something chain. I can't remember, something chain, but in 2021, so they've been working since 2017 or 2018, but in 2021, they actually put an Ethereum node or a blockchain or something like this, I've got, on the International Space Station. So blockchains already exist up there. So just in case anybody didn't know, they are there. They are there. So don't worry too much about it. Trust me. But yeah, enough talk about this. Let's go into other stuff. And let's talk about, get rid of some of this stuff. Boom, let's bring this back. You can view this chart here, guys, if you wanted to. Absolutely fine. I have no issues. Everybody's welcome to view those charts. Also, for this chart, if you wanted to view it, you're more than welcome to view this. I can get the link. Can't see. And let's get a text box in here. And let's put this here. And right? So here we go. We've got another one here. You can, if you wanted to see this chart for whatever reason, then it's there for you as well, guys. I'm not hiding anything, so it's there for you. You can copy, do whatever you want. You can go and see this chart as it is. I'll actually save that in front of you as well. Save, boom, done. So that's saved. You can actually view this if you wanted to, absolutely no problem. So now let's talk about paradexes. So I know a lot of you guys are talking about, I've had a few questions, what's happening, and this and that, everything. One of the biggest things that we did with paradexes, and let me get you to my main screen. We don't need any of this. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, much better. So I can see the chat as well. I don't have to look at my mobile phone. One of the things that a lot of you guys have been asking is obviously how long or when paradexes and this and that. Paradexes is going to come out. Listen, guys, I've spoken to a few people, a couple of days ago, and yesterday I spoke for a very long time to one of our community members as well, and he's very keen, and he's going to be one of the community managers as well. And I've explained to him, I said, look, the creating a cryptocurrency, that's the easiest part. It's literally a duplicate of every other ERC20 out there. It's the same contract. That's the easy part. The hard part is, as a designer, as a visionary, as a founder, I've got to get my words onto a piece of paper. And those words got to be converted into code. That's not easy, right? I know what I want, but the developer doesn't know what I want. Also, the developer doesn't know if it's possible, right? So I've got to write everything down, literally break everything down. Doesn't matter if it takes 100 pages for me to do this. I write it down. That's the design aspect of it. That's the architecture of it. I give it to the developer. The developers start working on it and they start building. So of course, for me as a shortcut, we've partnered up with companies who are going to be working with us. So they're going to be part of the founding team as well. And most of the hard parts are already done. So we've made it all easy. So the hard part is done. The easy part is creating the coin, easy peasy. What we are doing now is creating the tokenomics and the methodology. All right. So basically, how are these tokens going to be distributed? How do participants get the benefits? How do we do a pre-sale? How do we do this? How do we do that? So many different things. How is there a value instantly, or how are we going to generate value, or how are we going to generate revenue? What's the longevity? What are the tokenomics? What's going to be happening in the future? So a lot of stuff has to be written down. Of course, you've probably seen a white paper or a roadmap which has a few sketches and a drawing. Yes, that's the easy part. That 5 minutes we can whip one up. But that doesn't explain to the developers. So I don't want to give you something that's going to say, all right, this is what we're doing, and you have no idea what any of that means, or you have no idea what the time scale is, or just BS everything. No, I'd rather have the developers tell me the actual time frame and say, okay, this is going to be done within this time. This is going to be done within this time. Because remember, just launching a token is not the big thing. You launch a token, you've got to have good marketing team behind it. You've got to have a good admin team behind it. You've got to have a good development team behind it who's going to continuously develop this and obviously reach the end goal. And the end goal isn't something that you just have overnight. It's like, oh, well, we're going to do it tomorrow. No, it doesn't work like that. We need to, for me, I'm personally planning at least 10 years from now. So that has to be written down 10 years from now and say, this is how things are going to work. And then hopefully, whatever happens to paradexes. Am I concerned about how much a paradex is going to be worth? I don't know. I don't care. We're not here trying to create value, monetary value. That's not the purpose. It's here to create a community to contribute to the Web 3.0. So that's the whole idea. We want to contribute to Web 3.0, hopefully build towards a better future, and actually give genuine utility via our tokenomics or the tokens or the platform, whatever you want to call it. But we want to give genuine utility, which somebody can actually use, in their own day-to-day life or something and benefit from it in one way or another. That's what we want to do. So that's what we're working towards. So how long is it going to be? I don't know. We're not rushing it. I know most of the scam projects out there, they'll probably just launch one every other day because that's what they do. And a lot of people do get burnt out with all of this stuff. For us, it's got nothing to do with this. It's not about the money. It's not about anything like this. Trying to innovate, trying to contribute to the Web3, trying to get a global adoption and create something new for everybody else and move forward. But at the same time, obviously, create a system that genuinely create something and generate something. And regarding the like the launch itself, there are different methods. Some people do what's known as an ICO. They will do an ICO. We will not do an ICO, which is initial coin offering. We are not going to do an ICO. We're going to do something slightly different, and we're going to move forward. So there will be different sections and different how do I say this? Different phase, right? So there's going to be different phases of this project and the way it launches. In fact, in the beginning, there's going to be 5 stages that we're going to create something where you are not going to be able to buy the coin, but you should be able to receive the coin for free. That's all I can say, right? That's part of the thing. I can only say this publicly. Of course, anything that we will write down and what's going to be finalized will be on set in stone. It's going to be in paper. Once it's done, most of the stuff's going to be around the GitHub, the Gitbook, probably on a Medium post as well. So whatever's there, once it's public, it's public. It's not going back. There's no redaction, nothing. So that's why before we do this last second create a token, we'd rather get everything right. Does that make sense, right? So I'm hoping it does make sense. Also, I'm not even sure if you guys are here or you guys can hear me. So if you can hear me, say hi. I see a few people there. I have no idea what's going on. So yeah, just let me know if you're here. And if there's any questions, guys, if there's any questions. Because I have kind of just gone non-stop. But let's see if there is any questions. Any questions? Anybody? If not, then yeah, I might as well just call it quits. Obviously, I don't want to spend too much time talking about paradexes and this and that. But yes, also on Discord and everything, guys. So on Discord, you may have noticed I've changed the color of my name on the Discord channel. I've given myself a unique color. So if another copycat or a scammer comes in and tries to copy my name and try and post something, well, you should recognize him by the color. Everybody, most of the people are going to be white, right? So when you see that, you know that it's got nothing to do with me. They can copy my logo, they can do whatever, because that's what a lot of these guys do. They try and impersonate you and try and come and sell something. So I think KR kicked him out the other day, or him or she, whatever it was, kicked them out. So that's out of the way. Also, I have plans, like, in the future, once Paradex is completely launched, I will probably merge our current Discord with paradexes and probably create a separate section there for previous members or something like this. But I've got to do something. Basically, I won't be able to manage both. And because the thing is I am planning to do full time. Like once Paradex is launched, I'm going to be out full time, basically working on it, doing whatever needs to be done. But I also need to be able to manage it, so I can't have something privately and then something non-private. I think I'll just try and manage everything in one place by creating different channels and different things. So yeah, a lot of crazies are coming. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Not sure if you guys could hear me. I'm not sure what's going on. Right. But listen, guys, obviously you don't have any questions for me. Absolutely fine. Not an issue. I hope the information you received today is valuable. And I hope you understand that if you look at a bigger picture of this entire crypto sphere right now, where we are in the crypto market, especially with the Bitcoin, you can see we are coming into a zone and there's no reason for us not to touch the bottom area. So it might be a great opportunity for us to pick some up. Now, how long is it going to last? Well, historically, we've had something as long as 2.5 years, maybe even 3 years, right? We've had long time that we've been like kind of stagnant where we didn't move. Well, it looked like we didn't move, right? So I think this is kind of misrepresented when we say it didn't move. It did move. You just didn't notice that it was moving, right? Because of the way it was structured. So if you look carefully at these areas, we were still moving up, but because of where we were, it didn't look like it. And we spent months and months, that you can see from December, so what was it? Sorry, November 2011 all the way to February 2013. That's 2 years. We spent over 2 years there, or just around 2 years there. And this was the longest, right, where we've popped in January 2015, and then we came out of it in May 2017. So again, you can see that we can spend a lot of time. So just be prepared. That's all I'm saying. And of course, if you look at the structure, and I think KR asked me the other day as well, he said, what kind of a cycle are we in? Cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3? Because I know a lot of people like to add these cycles. Oh, cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, cycle 4, whatever. There's only one cycle, brother. And the cycle that we see is started here, and it's just moving this way. It's only going one direction. It's only going up like this. That's the cycle that we can see over a longer term. So it depends on your view. I mean, if you look at cycles and you want to talk about daily cycles, yeah, we've got daily cycles. You want to look at hourly cycles, yeah, we've got cycles within a cycle. But the question is, what cycle are you looking at, and what's your vision or kind of your perspective on the market? What is it that you want to achieve? If you're looking for quick money, that's a different story. But if you are in it for a long term, then the cycle hasn't even finished yet. We're still in the cycle. We talked about this on another video as well some time ago. In this lengthening cycle video, we talked about it. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing, guys. Just remember that the market itself looks very, very good right now. I mean, according to me. I know some of you guys might be cursing me and saying, what the hell is this guy talking about? But that's what I see. Yeah, I mean, if Elon buys, as I said, let's see what Elon does. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. But I've got this weird feeling. By the way, I want to add something to Elon Musk as well. I know we talked about it in the beginning, but I want to add something on as well. Jack Dorsey resigning as the CEO, the director, whatever. So remember, the Twitter founder has left Twitter already. Just think about that. The Twitter founder has left Twitter already. And not long after, Elon comes and says he wants to buy. Just keep that in mind. That's what I'm going to say to you. I'm not going to give you anything else. I'm not going to add something. I'm not going to even add my opinion. I'm just going to say, just think about that. Just think about that. The founder of Twitter moves over to Square, changes the name of Square to something else. Then all of a sudden, Elon wants to buy Twitter. So just all I'm going to say, just leave food for thought, and then let me know in the next video. See what happens. We'll do another video on next Monday. Hopefully, yeah, I think similar time next Monday as well. And then probably later on, we'll do another one, or probably do something earlier. I don't know. I'll talk to everyone. I'll try and see how many people come on. Of course, not many people visiting us these days because I've been taking a break. But it should be okay. It should be awesome. Not an issue. As long as one person here, for me, that's enough. So as long as one person has been helped, is enough. I said, other than that, like, share, subscribe, and remember, I'm doing this live, guys. So if I've made any mistakes, do forgive me. If I've said something, don't hold me to it. Yeah, of course you can hold me to it. I've said it publicly. You should hold me to it. Anybody says anything publicly, you hold them to it. Other than that, like, share, subscribe, guys. I'm gonna catch you on another one very soon. And of course, those of you guys who know me, you're more than welcome to message me privately through Discord or whatever, through our groups, whatever, and ask me any questions regarding paradexes if you need to know. But opportunities are going to be opening. But as I said, this is not a financial advice. We do not encourage anybody to come in and invest or do whatever. No, this is nothing to do with finances. This is just a project we're just building. We're just trying to change the world and contribute to the Web3 development, and try and get as many people on board for the decentralized networks and decentralize the world. That's what we're trying to do. But yeah, other than that, like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on another one very soon. Hopefully the next one, we should have more good news and probably some great announcements, and see where we go from there. So yes, adios, my amigos. I'll see you on another one. Adios.